Hello there. After playing very intensively this summer over-the-board games and participating in over-the-board tournaments, and after playing several over-the-board games in the team league, after 8,000 online games played, after several dozens of books which I have read regarding the chess improvement and chess training methods, and also after hundreds of YouTube videos which I have watched, I have finally came to a conclusion, to realization of what do I need to do to improve in chess and how my training method should look like. And well, I know there are plenty of methods, plenty of advices out there, but what I found out to be true and to make most sense is following the Laszlo Polgar method. So let me just say a few words about Laszlo Polgar and his method. So Laszlo Polgar, of course, father of famous Polgar sisters. He trained his daughters. All three of them were Olympic champions. Susan Polgar is the best female chess player who managed to beat male world champions as well in several occasions. So yeah, he has this achievement, let's say, and he's also a psychologist, and he made a PhD in regarding this topic of how to train. He said how to train a genius, but how to train, how to acquire some skill, which can be skill in mathematics or in chess or in any other topic. So Laszlo Polgar method basically comes down to doing positions when we talk about chess. So you need to expose yourself to thousand upon thousand of positions, and you need to be in the problem-solving method. So Laszlo Polgar didn't believe in words; he just believed in positions, and this is very similar. The conclusion is very similar of this of Hendricks, who wrote this famous book, Move First, Think Later, in which he says the same thing. So talking about chess and making a philosophy about position, it can be fun, it can be enjoyable, but this is not the way to improve. The only way to improve is to expose yourself to many positions and just sit down, put the position on the board, think about the position, um, put yourself in the problem-solving mode, write down the position, and go to the next. And this is the only way to improve in chess, according to Laszlo Polgar. And I have come to realize this very truth myself. And of course, there is always topic of openings. So you know, whenever you talk to chess improvement with anybody, the topic of openings comes about. Or you learn this opening, that opening. Most of the courses which you can buy either on Chessable or on DVDs, or most of the books basically are about openings. So everybody's talking about openings, and my conclusion, my very firm belief is that openings don't matter. So if you are not on the master level, openings begin to matter at some level. Let's say master level, let's say 2100. Then the openings begin to matter. But if you are only 2100, openings don't matter at all. So all you need to do in the opening is to know, maybe, okay, you need to play some opening. You need to know some 5 to 7 moves, main line of the opening. You need to know some very basic ideas about openings. So what is the idea of opening? You want to control d5 or something. So some very basic ideas, and then you need to enforce the chess principles, opening chess principles. So quick development, put your king in safety, play in the center, and this is it. Up to master level, this is it. You don't need to know anything about openings. And this is what Laszlo Polgar also, he doesn't say this explicitly, but you can see if you look at his books, he didn't write a single book about openings. So all his books are about tactics, about middle game positions, middle game tactics, end game tactics, and this is it. So once you reach the master level, okay, probably you will have to do with the openings. And quite frankly, I don't think I will ever reach the level in which the openings will matter. So if by some miracle it happens one day that I reach 2200 level, then I will probably change something in my training plan and I will start doing openings. But until now, and this is probably until the rest of my life, I don't need to worry about openings. So okay, that being said, let me now say concretely what do I mean, how do I mean to train chess for the next several 7, 10, 15 years maybe. So this is a very, very long-term training method. So first of all, I went on the Abe books and I purchased the three Polgar books, which I will just show you now. All three books are out of print, except this one. This is the most famous book. It's available in the soft cover, but I managed to find a second-hand hardcover. So because I want to make this my lifetime effort, so I need some more robust book with bigger diagrams, because the problem with this one is that the diagrams are too small. So let me present the three books, famous Polgar books. They are very big books. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the same as this one. It's just a hardcover, and I already talked about this, but just quickly, it has over 5,000 positions, and it's made in one, 300 positions made in one, then 3,500 positions made in two, then 500 positions made in three. And then after this, he gives 600 miniatures, and this is in fact how Polgar approaches openings. So he gives you 600 miniatures, and in each of these miniature you can see one player making a mistake in the opening, and then he gets punished by another player by some tactical shot, attack of the king, or whatever. And this is how and this is what you need to know for openings, how to not make mistakes. So it's not important for you to know variations, sub-variations, and fight for advantage and so on. It's important for you not to make an opening mistake, because if you neglect opening principles, or if you don't have tactical awareness, then you will make a mistake out of the opening and you will be punished by your opponent. So by going to 600 miniatures in this game, you will be able to avoid opening mistakes. And also after miniatures, he gives some 150 endgames and game positions, so you need to know how to play endgames. And then finally he gives some combinations from the Polgar sisters games, in which you can practice calculation, combinations, and so on. So this is the first book. And like I said, Polgar philosophy is not that he will give you profound explanations. He just gives you positions and the solution. So let me show how this looks. In case if you don't know, this is how Polgar book looks like. So it's just position after position after position, and in the end he has of course solutions, which are very simple solutions. So he doesn't use words. So you can I mean, this book is you don't need to know any language. You just need to know chess notation. So the solution is just a solution, just a very short solution. So what is the idea? The idea is that you need to find your own logic. You need to develop your own ideas, and you need to develop your own way of thinking. So it's not like Silman, for example, or Kotov, or some other classical authors, which try to learn you how to think, and who tell you, okay, here in this position you need to consider this, you need to consider that, there is this imbalance, there is that imbalance, you need to think about this square, this square. No, the Polgar doesn't do this. So he just gives you many positions, and you need to develop your own way of thinking. And I have been doing Polgar book for quite some time, and I can tell that this works. You actually you start to make your own logic, and you start to make your own verbalization of the positions, and this is the idea. So yeah, so this is the first book. So 5,000 positions. I'm now doing this. How do I go through this book? I use a physical chessboard. So this is another insight which I realized, that the quality is much more important than quantity. So I don't care. I do this like maybe an hour a day, or 45 minutes a day. So 45 minutes a day I do Polgar books, and I don't care how many puzzles do I solve. So currently I'm doing mate in 2. So I don't care if I solve 20 mate in 2 or puzzles in 45 minutes, or 2 mate in 2 puzzles. It doesn't matter. What it matters is that I adopt this problem solving mentality, that I solve this correctly, and that I spend this time quality time, quality chess time. This means looking at the position, being focused, calculating all the opponent's responses, understanding the position, and so on. So this is why I use physical chessboard. And some people told me, well, it's too slow. You're just wasting your time by setting the pieces on the board. You could, I mean, okay, instead of setting the pieces on the board, you can solve like 3 puzzles just by looking at the diagram. This might be true, but I'm not interested in solving many puzzles in a short amount of time. I want to simulate tournament conditions. Chess is the board game. It's played on a physical board. It's played in the tournament hall, in which you have 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment if you're playing a federated game. So this is chess, and this is what I want to simulate when I training. So when I train, so every time I train, I put my pieces, I open the book, and I'm just setting the pieces, I'm thinking about the position, and then I write down the solution. It's very important to write down the solution, because in this way you are forcing yourself to make a decision. It's not just like, okay, I'm looking at this position, yeah, this could be a move, let's look at the solution. No, I write down the solution and I go to the next. And then I do this for 45 minutes. And then after I do everything, then I take my notebook, I open the solution, and then I compare my solutions with the book solution, and I see if I got something wrong, and then I come back, I see what did I do wrong, and so on. So this is how I approach it. Okay, so this is the basic book which I'm doing now, and I will say that it will take me like 2 years, maybe 2 years to go through this book, and I'm not in the hurry. I'm just doing this. So what next? I told you in the beginning and in the title that this is lifetime training plan. So after I do this book, I go to the next book of Polgar, which also I purchased secondhand. This is called Chess Middle Games, and it's similar format. It has some 4,000 positions. They are he starts with tactical positions, so you have basic mating patterns emerging from the middle game, like Legal's mate or Anastasia mate, and so on. And then he slowly, gradually goes to the more positional positions, in which you have to find the best move to improve your position. And it's the same, I mean, the same philosophy, the same thing. You can see it's just, yeah. So it's just positions and very basic solutions. So yeah, this is middle games, and he says in the introduction that there is some misconception among chess trainers and players that middle games cannot be learned. That this is something. This is just something which comes from your intuition and your talent. So you either understand and feel the position or you don't. And he disagrees with this. He says, yeah, middle games can be learned like anything. You just need to expose yourself to 4,000 positions and do this over and over again, and you will learn to play middle games. So this is the second book. I also think it will take me probably 2 years to go through all these positions, maybe more. And then the third book is Endgames. It's also a very big book, Chess Endgames. And here he gives some 4,500 positions, and I mean, philosophy is the same, the approach is the same, so he just gives you many positions and very short solution in the end, so you can well, you need to find your own logic, and you need to learn these end games. So these are the 3 books. So the first one is dealing mostly with tactics and miniature games, so you need to understand combinations, you need to understand what not to do in the opening, and some basic end games. The second one deals with middle games, with many typical positions. He's dealing with isolated queen, pawn, and all sorts of typical positions emerging from the middle game, and then finally the end game. And I think these 3 books will take me probably 6 to 7 years to go through. So yeah, it's a very long-term plan. And well, after I do all these 3 books, what then if I still will be playing chess after 7 years? And I think I will, because I plan to play chess till the rest of my life. So when I go through these 3 books, I'll just go through them again and again and again and again, and this is what I plan to do every day. as long as I play chess. I don't need to do anything else. Of course, I will occasionally play, go read some chess book for just for fun, or go through some master games. I am doing this for fun. I have this uh, Elekine, it's creation book, so I have this collection of Elekine games. So I go through Elekine games, just for fun. When I'm tired, I don't feel like calculating. Then I set the pieces. I go through Elekine games. I'll pick up some ideas. So yeah, I will do this stuff as well. But my main training plan is just going through Polgar's books. So to expose myself to some 15,000 positions he has in these books, and then do this over and over again. And before the end of the video, I just want to answer one very common objection. It is sometimes said that doing mate in two puzzles is not so useful, because yeah, I mean, it's just how often will you have in your real games the pattern of delivering mate in two? Probably not very often. But the idea of mate in two puzzles are twofold. So first of all, you have mate in two positions from the real games, in which you just practice mating patterns, and you need to know mating patterns, because yeah, maybe you will not deliver a checkmate in the real game, but if you know the mating pattern, then you can make a threat to deliver mate, and this is how you gain tempo and so on. So you need to know your mating patterns in order to play chess. But another thing very important is studies. So he has many studies. Studies are the positions which are artificially composed, so they are not something you will get from your games, but they force you to really practice your visualization and your calculation. So you have like a king in the center, you have like a pawn and bishop and the knight and your king, and everything is in the center. So it's not a position you will have in the real game, but you need to really see which squares are controlled by which piece, and after you move the piece, which squares will be controlled by your pieces after you move the piece. And this is, I think, very important for practicing board visualization and also calculation, because you have to think about all the possible responses from your opponent. And these studies can be very difficult. It sometimes takes me 20, even 30 minutes to solve just one mate in two puzzle. So they can be very difficult, but it just forces you to you know, when you have the board, a digital board, for example, on lichess, then you can, with right click, you can select the squares which some piece control. Okay, on the real board you cannot right click, but you need to practice this vision. So when you see the knight on the board, you need just to imagine that these squares which knight controls are somehow enlightened, somehow marked. And then you have knight, you have bishop, you have pawn, you have your king, and you need to see which squares do you control. And this is very important, this skill in chess, so to be able to see which squares do your pieces control, and also after you move the piece, then these squares change, the squares you control, of course, change, and then you need to see this as well. And you also need to see what are your opponent's possible moves, and how your opponent is restrained by the squares you control. So I think this is the idea of doing a mate in two studies, composed studies, and I think it's very useful. And yeah, like I said, just the mentality of problem solving, just the mentality of sitting down, taking your time. You're not in the hurry, you just need to solve the problem. And this is what I learned by playing this over the board games in the tournaments and in the league, that the real game is just 40 problems you need to solve. Let's say that the move is 40 moves long. So every move is a problem. You need to solve. Every time it's your move, you have the position is a problem, you need to find the solution to the problem. So this is what you practice by doing any problems on the real chessboard, be it mate in two or any other problem. Okay, so I think this is everything I wanted to say. Yeah, I did purchase these 3 books. I was lucky enough to find them second hand, and I'm going through the first book, and this is what I will be doing. It will be very interesting to see. I cannot predict after I do all the 3 books, and of course I will be playing over the board games. I will be playing long time control games online over the board. I will analyze my games this goes without saying, and it will be interesting to see how much will I improve in 7 years. Polgar says that well, it's you can go through master level just by doing these books. Okay, Polgar worked with kids, so I don't know if this applies to adults, and well, we will see. And like I said, maybe if someday I reach these high levels, master levels, then probably I will pick up some opening book. But I don't think that will ever happen. And if it happens, well, I will be happy to study openings then. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it will be useful. I hope you can pick up some advices, and I will see you soon with more videos. Cheers.